Forcing entry in a low visibility environment can provide a number of challenges, particularly in finding the correct landmarks and ensuring that your tools are set properly. This video will cover a few techniques to help you navigate those challenges. Depending on the building, you may find inward swinging, outward swinging, or both that you may have to force in order to complete your search. The steps and goals don't change in forcing entry in a low-vis environment. How you go on accomplishing those steps might. First, orient yourself and feel if you are on the hinge side or handle side of the door and how it swings. Next, find your door's edge and set your adze to gap. Find the end of your halligan and line up your tools to strike. Here are where some of the major differences are found in a low visibility, difficult to force, inward swinging door. If I have to stay crouched due to the smoke or for better visibility, setting my tool could be difficult. I can use my body to help stabilize the end of the halligan while I work on getting the forks set in the direction that I want them. By placing my elbow on my knee, that keeps the far end of the halligan stable and allows me to focus on getting the forks set exactly how I want them. Once my forks are set, I'm going to grab my axe and slide it down the body of the halligan and make contact with the shoulders of the forks. Then I'm going to switch to the hand-to-hand technique and finish driving my halligan to the set position. Here's another look at the slide technique. This technique was originally used for confined space forcible entry, but it has a lot of carryover when it comes to limited visibility, just because you're maintaining contact with both of the tools that you're using. While that axe is sliding down the halligan, you're ensuring that you have control of both the axe and the halligan. One caveat to this technique is that it does help to have the shoulders of your halligan squared off, as opposed to the way they normally come with a slight angle to them. The tools I was using at the training tower for this video, unfortunately, were not squared off. Here's a comparison between those tools and the ones that we have that are tuned up a little bit with a square shoulder. The square shoulder just helps your axe make better contact as it slides down the body and hits those shoulders. One last thing to add on that is you do have to make sure that your halligan isn't wrapped or doesn't have any sort of padding across the body, because that'll obviously make it difficult for you to slide that axe down and make contact with the shoulder. One of the earliest written manuals on forcing entry written by Fidney, and I highly recommend it if you haven't seen it yet, is this 177-page manual, and they go over proper placement of tools and how to get the most mechanical advantage, specifically out of your halligan. This could be very difficult in a low visibility environment on spotting exactly where your tool is in relation to the door and the jamb. Some companies will mark their tools with a gap line and a set line so they could visually see where their halligan forks are in relation to that door. But if visibility is limited, then you have to start relying on feeling where that tool is and what that tool is doing rather than seeing. On a two-person force of an inward swinging door, the person at the forks end of the halligan will hold it with the index finger covering the crotch of the forks. This is basically the same spot as the landmark of the picture just shown with the set line. The partner will drive the Halligan. Once the side of the index finger is flush with the door, your tool should be set. Obviously, in a low visibility environment, the traditional way of striking with your axe to the Halligan could be a bit difficult. In a low visibility environment, the hand-to-hand method is preferred for a higher success rate in making contact with both of your tools. Of course, you can always go ads if it's not too difficult of a door to force. I hope some of these techniques will help you if you ever do find yourself in a low visibility forcible entry situation. Now go out there and put these techniques to use, train and see if they work for you, or if you have any other ideas that might come to mind while you're out there trying these techniques.